what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and we have, guess what? Another edition of the Monday Market Report, 2 weeks in a row since we reinstated this popular video or segment. It's one of my favorites, and it's back with a vengeance. As you guys know, in this video, we talk about some of the most relevant post-1900 era, what we like to call modern coins, to have sold in auction this week. Again, the market is incredibly insane. In spite of what you may think about the coin market during the summer, it has held very strong. Where, we've seen in other different collectibles like sports cards and trading card games, where a lot of those cards have dropped 30, 40, 50, 60% in value. Coins and silver have continuously held some pretty strong gains. Yeah, I'm all choked up. I haven't done a video in a couple days, but yeah, incredibly nice week here by far. We have a whole host of listings from great collections, a lot of good stuff to talk about. Again, the Monday Market Report, if you're new, is an indicator of the health of the numismatics or coin market. And yeah, no big surprise. It's still going strong, and I have a feeling that we are going to see a tremendous ramp up as we get into the fall months. All right, it all usually starts around after kids go back to school, usually after Labor Day, when people have finally settled down from their summer vacationing mode. All right, so I could see the coin market just exploding a lot more through the new year, and yeah, watch out for tax time. Things are just, they're performing beautifully, but anyways, I'm just going to ramble on about how beautiful the coin market has been, and we're going to forget about actually doing the Monday Market Report. So how about we go ahead and take care of that? This is for the week ending August 8th, 2021. Again, if this is your first time here, if you enjoy today's content, definitely do leave me a huge like. But if you don't care for it at all, you just don't like me or the content, feel free to leave a thumbs down. Any sort of engagement is engagement. Throw in a comment. Would love to hear, what your favorite coin is for the week. A lot of good ones, I would say. Some eyebrow raisers for sure. But let's go ahead and jump right into the first coin on the list, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a 1948 Lincoln wheat cent. Throughout this broadcast, you will hear me allude to a coin of whether it's a registry set coin, okay, and that's held by Pcgs or NGC, and are not investable by any which way at all. These are very highly speculative, and they are hard to maintain value over time. Or you will hear me refer to a coin as being an investable monetary item, which is good too. Those are coins that are either gain in value over time, or you could sell them anytime for about the same amount of money that you bought them for. All right, 1948 wheat cent, I would say, is a registry set coin like none other. It's a beautiful Pcgs Mid-State 67 full red example. It's also CAC certified. If you're new to the CAC game, it's that little green sticker. Sometimes it'll be gold as well, but it's an independent company that actually audits the graders numerical grades on these coins. So if CAC feels like, say for example, the PCGS 1948 Lincoln wheat cent is indeed a 67, they will go ahead and put their seal of approval on the coin, and people traditionally pay a lot more money for these coins. This one right here is sold for $2,643.75. Again, very much a registry set coin. I would not invest in coins of this type. And the same would go for this one. Now, don't let the S mint mark fool you. Even though this 1947 Lincoln wheat is produced in San Francisco coins in general of the 40s and 50s are so well struck to begin with that you're not going to find nearly as many issues with these compared to, say, the Philadelphia coins. And they're even slightly better than Denver minted examples as well. This one is a PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus, so it's got that plus designation, full red, CAC certified, and this will give you an idea of how much more better the strike is on San Francisco coins are. This one sold for only $1,203.75, which is just over, or just under actually half of what the previous coin sold for. 34D up next. Now, I would say this is probably that line in the sand that you would draw in terms of investability to registry set. This one right here, it's a common enough day to be a registry set coin. 34D Lincoln Wheat Cent. This one grades Pcgs Mid-State 67 full red. It's a pleasing looking example, and it would be sure to pad some points on any registry set it's going to go into. This one sold for $1,237.50 today. 32. Now this is a Philadelphia coin, much tougher than its date indicates. It's pretty cool because the actual date style of the 3 and the 2 in the date is a lot different than what you would see 10 years later, which just goes to show you the transitional period in which font styles change and all that great stuff. Anyways, that's a conversation for another time. We have a PCGS Mid-State 67 red, another high-end piece. Again, this is your 50-50 split on this, on whether or not you want to invest in a coin like this or simply add it to a registry. I think they would serve both purposes. It's also CAC certified. This is overall a pleasing coin. This was sold as part of the Sunset collection for this week, and this one brought in $2,419.88. And the final Lincoln of the bunch, or the final penny, rather, is going to be a semi-key 1926S Lincoln Wheat Cent. For those of you that like to look in the red book, this one has a considerably lower mintage than a lot of the other 1920s Lincoln cents during its time. All right, and as you guys know, these are what I like to call Great Depression age or era workhorse coins. Anything from the teens and 20s generally have been used and abused. All right, everybody was buying a loaf of bread with a few of these pennies, and they would just continuously, run around in commerce. And a lot of examples that you find today of, say, this date are generally in that kind of VG to XF range. Very few examples ever pop up in Mid-State like this one does. Now, this one is an NGC Mid-State 65 red-brown. Doesn't have full red, so it just shows you how tough it is. This one sold for $4,734. All right, so there you go. That's kind of like an example of a coin that you would find from the 20s. Generally, the Denver and San Franciscos are considerably more difficult to find in mid-state condition raw. Nickels are up next, and then we have one of the ultimate kind of chase pieces and proof sets. We actually have a few of them on the list. This time it's a 1971 Jefferson Nickel, and no, this was not produced at the Philadelphia Mint. As a matter of fact, this is a San Francisco minted coin. As you guys know, there should be a mint mark of some sort right here under the date. It just so happens that this set of dies did not have the S mint mark in there, so that's a pretty big boo-boo on the mint's part. But these are affectionately referred to as No S 1971 Jefferson Nickels. Now, they only show up in terms of nickels on the 71 proof. You're not going to find this in circulation normally. This one right here, beautiful grade, PCGS Mid-State 68. It's got the full deep cameo finish on there. Frosty devices, mirrory wet black fields on there. This one realized $2,319.75. If you wanted to look for coins that are kind of like what I don't know, I would call them like a instant win scratcher kind of payday type of coin. This is one of those that you could look for. And I have a feeling that some of these proof coins we're going to talk about today are still findable. I mean, if you're looking for coins that you want to cherry pick with any sort of success, deep cameo, early dated coins of any denomination, or some of these fringy type of varieties like the No S 71 are going to be in your wheelhouse, because these are an untapped resource of just nonstop endless value. And then this is apparent here on a 71. No silver, by the way. This is a nickel. Here's a much tougher 1955D Jefferson Nickel. The date in itself is hard to find. Fully lustrous, number one. Number two, well struck. All right, this one right here made the grade. It's a Mid-State 65 5FS, which means it has 5 defined full steps. It's NGC graded, so there you go. Again, a very tough coin. Again, I would not personally invest in something like this. The luster is not that good on this one, but that is a microcosm of the entire date run by itself. 55P, 55D. These coins are very difficult to find with a full luster profile. This one sold for $1,406.25. Here's another one of those proofs, this time on a much more scarcer date of proof set. This is a 1953 Jefferson Nickel. 53 proof sets don't necessarily grow on trees. They are a little bit of a pricey entry point into proof collecting. Proof sets from this particular date can run a few $100s really easily. I think they can even go up to $300. But very rarely do you come across any coins from the early 50s of proof sets with an actual cameo finish. This one has just enough frost on the bite to give it a deep cameo designation on the slab. It's a PCGS Proof 68 Plus. Beautiful coin, very clean, and probably a registry set gauntlet, no doubt about it. And with this kind of rarity comes a pretty big payday. This one sold for $10,521. Just a beautiful, beautiful mega piece. Here's a 51S. Now, San Francisco coins of the early 50s are generally well struck. All right, much like the Lincoln cents, 40s and 50s S coins are particularly nice for this era. This is an NGC Mid-State 67 5 full stepper. Again, any Jefferson Nickel of its highest grade and full steps are what I consider to be just registry set coins from 38 all the way up to the current date. This one right here sold for $2,770.88. And probably my favorite nickel out of the bunch is going to be this wartime silver piece here. It's a 45D. So this was a manganese silver alloy. As you guys know, they had changed the alloy starting in 42 to up to 45 to help save nickel and copper and various other types of alloys for the war effort. So in this particular case, we have silver nickels. All right. This one right here, beautiful coin, PCGS Mid-State 68, full steps. Yeah, this is a hammered strike. It's also got some toning, depending on where it was stored at. It does have kind of like a pastel-y yellow and blue toning throughout the coin. This one realized $6,018.75. Here's our feature coin of the week. Much like the 71 Jefferson Nickel we talked about, here's another one you could find. Now, looking at the coin, it really doesn't look like a whole lot. As a matter of fact, this has stumped a lot of hunters out there, a lot of cherry pickers. Some would say that they found 68 no mint mark Roosevelt Dimes in circulation. Well, yeah, the Philadelphia minted 68s had no mint mark at all, but the proof coins of this particular date all had S mint marks. This one should have had an S mint mark. So here's another proof coin that was pulled out of a proof set that had no S mint mark. All right, so this is one of the much more scarcer, if not unique, no S coins to be found out there in proof sets, and that's the 68 Roosevelt that you see here. This one right here is kind of like a middle-of-the-road PCGS Proof 67. I think 68 might be the top pop grade candidate for this particular variety. But this one right here, here's all the stakes. $14,191.88. That is a lot of money. All right, this is again an instant win ticket, just staring at you in the face. And I think there's probably a few more of these out there in existence. All right, they're not completely searched out. There's still a lot of proof sets that are untapped for any sort of these high-end rarities. Now here's a pretty nice original 1959 Roosevelt Dime. Again, a registry set coin in spite of its toning. It's a love it or hate it toning pattern as well. It's kind of on the dark side on the obverse of the coin, and that could turn off a few people. Yeah, that's understandable. But check out the grade. NGC Mid-State 68 full torch. So it's got the strong heavy strike on there. Aside from that, this is a registry set coin, so that's where it's going to go. This one sold for $1,323. All right. We do have a few Mercury Dimes. How about a 1940? Not exactly your run-of-the-mill key date. This is actually one of the more plentiful dates out there, but this one is a beast of a coin. This one comes out as a PCGS Mid-State 68 Plus full bands. It even has a touch of toning on the reverse, which I think looks good. You know, a little bit of toning is better than no toning at all. But yeah, a registry set coin, no doubt about it. I think it's probably a top pop coin with maybe a couple of them, one or two in the census at a 68 plus. This one right here realized $10,968.75. I've told people all along that I think 30s and 40s Mercury Dimes are some of the most undersearched series of coins for people looking to grade out some of them. There are, Mercury Dimes are popular and they have their set amount of fans. But, in terms of its denomination, the 10-cent face denomination is one of the least loved. So that kind of puts a little bit of a damper on the popularity of the Mercury Dime. Me personally, I love cherry picking coins like this. They're just overall a classic gauntlet. Here's a 39S. Again, don't let the S mint mark fool you on this particular date. It's a little bit tougher to find, but at the same time, it's not one of those things that's just going to be non-existent, all right? Especially in circulated shape. Given the fact that this one has that original spotty toning that is relegated to the outside periphery of the coin, this was more than likely stuck in an album at one point. Grade-wise, it's a PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus full bands coin. It's also CAC certified. And this one realized $3,286.12 tonight. All right, we got 4 quarters to talk about, and that's going to do it for this video. We have a 1988P, probably a candidate that you wouldn't think you would see on the Monday Market Report, only because it's, some would say it's a common date, these things grew on trees during its day. But very rarely did you see a lot of them held onto, let alone full BU rolls. There just wasn't a whole lot of them out there. At this point in time, people were just kind of spending these as they were coming out in the circulation. There was no fanfare for them or whatever. But because of the registry set, we've seen kind of like this newfound breath of fresh air that's entered the marketplace for some of these type of coins. This is a PCGS Mid-State 67, and this was also part of the Erasmus Hall registry set of modern Washington quarters. All right, so this set is still being sold there this week. And this one sold for $3,489.75. The next quarter is another quite common date. This time is 62, and yeah, it's a 90% silver compo. But this is a PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus that features really nice, albeit kind of light toning on the obverse, but it's all good because this kind of originality on a quarter, save for trying to find one out of a BU roll, is pretty tough to find these days. You would have to look at any sort of old collection where these were housed in old Whitman or Dansko or World of Coins albums and things like that to be able to find one with this kind of toning on there. Again, a registry set piece. I wouldn't invest in anything like this. This one is also part of the Neon Lights collection that's being sold and consigned by GC. This one sold for $6,193.12. Here's a 60, and this is a Denver minted example, and the toning is just second to none on this one. And that's the big reason why this one is like the big top dog of the week. Yeah, it's not the most expensive, but the amount of money that this one sold for will shock you. PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus, CAC certified. Yes, it's a toning monster. This one realized $9,518.62. I would say a lot of folks have a 1960 quarter of some way in their collection. Probably a nice Mid-State example at that. But again, the original toning of pieces like this is what ultimately drives the market for pieces like this. And then finally, I think it's only appropriate that we end this particular episode of the MMR on a proof coin. This time on a set that is very available for around 25 to 30 bucks. It's a 1958. Over 1 million of these particular proof sets were produced. However, finding some with deep cameo contrasts is pretty tough, and that's why these coins sell for a lot of money. So here's yet again another opportunity, and a long line of other opportunities in the U.S. coin market to really capitalize on what's selling now. The market is strong for coins like this, where it could go into a registry set and they could feel proud of owning it. This is a PCGS Proof 69. No doubt about it, it is a deep cameo coin. One of the highest graded specimens. It's incredibly clean. Just look how black and dark the fields are on this coin, offset against the white frost of the devices. This is exactly what collectors are looking for. All right, I would say this one would fit very well in a collection. It could be an investable coin, or it could go into a registry set. That's how rare these are. This particular example sold for $9,284.62. Huge amounts of money. I mean, that kind of money for this time of year, recovering after vacations, and it getting into the holidays, this is certainly life-changing money. So if you're looking to capitalize on certain areas of numismatics where there's still a lot of money-making potential, this is one of them right here. You just have to go out and look for them. But that's going to go ahead and do it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. We're back, week 2 of the Monday Market Report, and it is a great feeling. I want to thank each and every single one of you for joining me today. If you're catching this on a Monday morning, I hope you guys have a wonderful, easy week this week. Don't work too hard. Feel free to like or dislike the video, depending on what your flavor is. Feel free to share the video and subscribe if you haven't done so. Hit that bell for instant notifications as well, so that way you get first-hand access to all of the newest videos as they're being released. That's going to go ahead and do it. Ladies and gentlemen, coinaholics, we are discovering together each and every single day. Best of luck in all of your hunts, and I will see you on the next coin video. So long.